back to Durham Cares TV.
Hello.
We have a special guest today.
Yeah, this is a recurring thing.
About
we sit down and there's somebody in between us.
Just like that.
I know,
It's
it's
crazy.
crazy.
It's awesome. So we have J.Paul Fridenmaker, which is one of my favorite names of all time.
It is. That's a good name.
He's here, and he's here from Mars Hill. Where is Mars Hill?
Mars Hill Graduate School is in downtown Seattle.
Yeah. And what does Mars Hill stand for? What's it about?
Well, Mars Hill is the reference to Acts 17, where the Apostle Paul goes to the Areopagus and he talks to the thought leaders of the day who are asking all sorts of philosophical and spiritual questions, and he uses their symbols, one of them was the symbol of the unknown God, to actually share the gospel with them. And so the idea is that we have people from all over the U.S. who come to our school to get training in psychology and divinity and Christian studies, and most of them have a vision to go out and do a helping profession. And so we aim to help them be as relevant as possible without compromising the gospel to our culture. We also have a saying around, that is that you can only take somebody, if you're helping somebody, you can only take them as far as you're willing to go yourself. And so our program is centered around digging into your own story, which is, as Heather knows, has some friends who've gone there. You look at your own story and deal with some of your own issues as you go out into helping professions. So that's a big issue for us.
I wish I'd known about when I was going to school. Awesome. Well, so Seattle's more than just coffee and grunge music.
Unfortunately. That's right, yeah.
So the other thing, and we were just talking about this a little bit before, is that J.Paul spends quite a bit of time working with folks from countries from all over the world that are sending out missionaries and sending out aid workers. And so tell us a little bit about the work you do there, because in addition to running development for Mars Hill Graduate School, you're also spending quite a bit of time in pro bono consulting and helping the overall missions movement. What does that look like, and what are some of the things that you've learned?
Absolutely, yeah. Well, the local churches around the world are a huge passion for me and have been for a long time. And so I have the privilege of continuing to work, and I have worked internationally before and get to continue to do that. And in particular, in the area of helping people to give well to those efforts. And so that's a lot of what I do, is talk to donors and talk to ministries about what's happening and try to help facilitate those connections.
So say you're in an interview show and you're asked.
Just hypothetically.
Yeah,
hypothetically, you're in an interview show.
Right. And somebody says, "Okay, give well. I get that. I want to give well. I want my dollar account." What are 3 things that the average giver should know as they get out there to invest in missions or development that maybe they don't already know? Can you do a top 3?
Well, sure. The first thing I would want you to take a look at is, why do you want to give? What do you feel stirring in your heart? I think it starts with, and Scripture says this time and time again, that people gave because of a stirred heart and a moved spirit. So listen, discern, talk to your friends, read the Bible, and think about what and why are you giving. Really, it's the why question. At that point, then, there are all kinds of resources you can go to, but I encourage people to invest in relationships. So once they figure out, man, Africa really, the plight in Africa really stirs me. AIDS is just making me break up. I encourage people to develop relationships first, even before they give. And then out of those relationships, find the ways in which they can give not only their money, but their time and other sorts of connections and resources. So figure out why, invest in relationships, and then thirdly, I would say give as generously as you possibly can. Give everything. That's what Jesus called us to. We talk a lot about tithing, and a lot about some of the parameters of giving in Scripture. Jesus said, everything. I want it all. And so what does that mean in your life? I think it's important.
So Zacchaeus meant half of everything he had. For the rich young ruler, it meant maybe all of it. And it's just really being able to endeavor and pray, I guess, I suppose, about what that means for you.
Yeah, well, and for the young boy who came to hear Jesus speak, it meant giving his fish and loaves. That's a great giving story. And I think we ought to look into stories like that as well. Rich young ruler is one. I don't think Jesus was asking all of us to give everything. But in the rich young ruler's case, that is what he was asking. So my question is, what is he asking you to give? So,
very good. Yeah. Well, thank you very much for
absolutely.
coming out.
Thank you guys.
Absolutely. And thank you, J.Paul, for loving
your neighbor.